What's up, guys? Go live. I'm live right now. Actually, I'm sorry. Give it a minute or two here. See if I get anybody. Had a viewer. If somebody was in there, now they're gone. So just give it a second before I get started. Messed this up yesterday. Haven't done anything on StreamYard as far as me being the user in several months. So I did all this yesterday, and I guess it never captured it or or anything. I was not able to retrieve the video. It took me a little over an hour, so a little disappointed in that. But I'll give it another go, and I think I'm on the right track this time. Hey, Wade99, how are you, buddy? Make sure everybody can hear me and the video is okay, and then I'll get started here. Everybody hear me okay? Video good? Okay, I'm just gonna get started. I'm pretty sure everything's okay and working properly this time. Again, this is the top 50 cards in my Ichiro collection, and it's the top 50 based on value, which are I use recent comps. Some of the cards I purchased are really rare ones, and I've only seen them. I've been collecting Ichiro for almost 10 years, and I've only seen some of these once. So obviously, the last year for the card market has been dramatically different than we've seen. So I kind of had to use the best of my knowledge of some of the prices that, if the card came available, what it might go for in the current climate. So first card is a 2001 Leaf certified materials. This is a freshman fabric. It's got a piece of the base there. And this is considered a rookie card of his. It's on the PSA registry, and this is graded an 8. Very thick cards, and this actually looks pretty darn clean for an 8. I've got a BGS 8, and this one looks a lot better than that. So glad to have that. These are numbered to 200, so not a ton of them out there. And a recent comp on that is $480. Next is a 2001 Donruss Elite Turn of the Century die cut. Extremely rare cards. I wasn't quite aware of this one for years. They're numbered out of 1,000, but only the first 100 are die cut. So I won this for maybe a third higher than what the base sells for. So I think I was going against somebody that knew what the card was as well. Once I saw it listed in auction style, I started doing some research and had never seen one. And the turn of the century rookies from Elite were supposed to be autographed, but him and Shinjo in this set are not autographed because they were in strict exclusive contracts with Upper Deck, so they could not use their autos. So really rare. I put the value at this at 500, and honestly, that's probably pretty conservative on that. But I don't want to get too crazy. And one hasn't sold in years, and it's the only one I've seen. So very excited to have that one. Next, 2001 Topps traded gold, the Ichiro and Pujols, and I'm lucky to have two of those. I've been collecting them for 10 years, so some of the prices these things are going for is crazy, but I think they're getting their due respect now, and excited to have both of them in the collection. And I've been high on this card for a long time. I know people aren't big on the. I don't know if you necessarily consider this not a rookie card, but cards that have another player image on them. But considering the history these two share, both entered Major League Baseball at the same time, both Rookie of the Year in their respective leagues, and here they are together on this card and guaranteed Hall of Famers. So very, very, very fortunate to have those, and these are numbered out of 2001. Recent comps on those are 500, and that's raw. If it's graded, I try to throw a graded price out. If it's raw, I throw out the raw price. These I did not include, which I should have, but they're in this price range as well. And these are the 2001 Topps Gold, and I'm lucky to have 4 of these. I've had 2 for quite a while, and honestly, I think before maybe late in 2019, I remember a seller had one listed. It was buy it now at $40, and I thought that was a good deal. So I did the buy it now $40, and then right after I bought that one, he listed another one for buy it now $45. So I was like, well, if I'm gonna buy one at 40, I'm gonna buy one at 45 as well. So I love this card, love the image. Again, just like the golds, they're always numbered to the year the product. So it's 2001. Comps on these are 500, 5 to 550. Next card, the 2013 Prism Finite, and so second year for Prism. People are starting to, the no logo stains bother people. They kind of bothered me in the beginning, but I like to shine like refractors, so I just went with it. And my guy was in the product, so I wanted to pick some up. And this one is the 101. So I'm glad I did, because the early stuff, the 2012 stuff, is pretty hard to find. Even some of the 2013s, you can't. I haven't seen any of the golds pop up except for the ones I've purchased of Ichiro. So I'm glad I got those when I did. Comp on this one is 500. Next card is a 2001 Upper Deck Gold Glove, a piece of the glove. So this is from his rookie year, Upper Deck Gold Glove. Set's really cool. They kind of did a lot of different things, kind of thought out of the box. It didn't really take off with the collectors, so the product didn't last very long. But a really cool piece of his glove. anytime for me, if you can get a piece of the batting glove or something different than other just a plain jersey swatch, not necessarily a patch, but just a plain solid, jersey swatch. But if you get something different like this, I know they have other product that they did batting gloves and the fielding glove. So it's really cool. Upper Deck was kind of always in the forefront of things like that. So this is SP in the product. Very hard card to find. Took me a long time to find this one. I found this one early last year. Recent comps on this one is 550. Next card is a 2009 Topps Finest X Fractor. This is the framed, and this is a 101. A lot of these older 101s, I've kind of just really given up on. I mean, you might find one every once in a real blue moon, but I have a website for my Ichiro PC, and a guy reached out to me through the website, and he was a big fan of Topps Finest and was putting runs and sets together and things like that. And he said he had this, and I'd never seen it. I just asked to see a picture of it, and he sent it to me, and he had it listed on eBay. He wanted a really high price for it. Um, it's hard when somebody has something that they think is a lot more valuable than what you think it would sell for, and it's sat there on eBay for a while. I kind of came to the conclusion that I would probably never get the card because I wasn't willing to pay the overpriced price that he thought it would bring. But he thought about it, and we were able to reach a deal that was fair for both of us. It was really cool on his end. So really appreciate this one in the collection, and never forget how I came about it and where it came from. Comp on that is $600. I think he wanted 1,000 for that to begin with, which I didn't think it'd ever get there. Um, Next to 2012 Prism, making another entrance here, and this is the inaugural year for Prism. And I believe that's for all products: football, baseball, and basketball. So this is the gold, of course. No logo. Just love it, man. Love the etching, love the shine on these cards. Just gorgeous, beautiful cards. And I'm excited to get this one. Number 210, of course, 6 of 10. And I don't know exactly what I paid for this. I wouldn't think it was more than $60. I wouldn't think. And hard to put a value on these because of all the sports, baseball seems to be lagging behind as far as price on these. Just kind of looked at some recent stars that kind of sold with the gold, and I put a very conservative estimate on this at 600. I mean, I really wouldn't be surprised if some of these big stars in the next year or two they start reaching around 1,000. But I need to get in the grading game, but I keep coming up with reasons not to. One of them is the whole weight thing, but like anything, everybody has to wait the same unless you want to pay a hefty premium to get them back quicker. Um, Next is a 2020 Topps Icon Cleat Auto. So that's a piece of his shoe, game use shoe. I've always wanted to get a pair of his game use shoes. I haven't yet, but this will hold me over for now. I've seen a couple different versions of this. Some have just the Asics logo. That's what kind of shoe he wears. I think he wears a different one now, but when they made this card out of that shoe, that was the one he was wearing then. Again, this was with the Yankees, so a while ago. But number to 10, and just like how he has his nice big signature there, he put his number 31 for when he played on the Yankees, and he put authentic game used out of his own handwriting there. So comp on that is 645. Next card is a 2014 Leaf Q nameplate autograph, and I've got a penny sleeve underneath there to protect the auto. Otherwise, the spark almost like a sparkle in that material they use for the nameplate there, and would just it shines like crazy. But really cool card. Only 10, and that's the IR. When I first got it, I didn't look over it really well, and then I was looking at it a little while later, and I always thought that was the H, and then I was getting kind of upset that the H didn't match, and then realized that was the R, but it's a on card auto as well. So I don't have any cards with the sticker auto of him. I just can't get myself to do it. I mean, his autograph is visibly different versus being able to sign and constricted to like a small sticker. So love that. Comp on that is 700. Next card is a 2001 Donruss Elite Status. They call it Status Gold, but they're all gold. All the status are, and die cut. And this one's numbered to 51. So love this card. Beautiful card. Not too many of these pop up. Very hard to come by. They have this version. They also have one that's not numbered. So there's different stories about what the unnumbered ones were. Were they backdoored? Were they held as replacements for any damaged cards, or what the story was? But I'm a completionist, so I've got the unnumbered one as well. I've had this excuse me, this one for years, several years. So back in my mind, I always wanted the number one. This one held me over till I could get it. Recent comps on that one is 700, which I don't know if you get quite 700 out of the one not numbered. I would think not. This one might be closer to 500, but cool to have both of them. The next card is a 2001 Upper Deck Golden Glove debut finite, and really cool card. Again, the Gold Glove product didn't really take off, but I like the background, how they kind of had it, brown to make it look like a glove. Cool concept, it just didn't take off. But they have the base version of this one is numbered to 500. Then they have a limited number to 100, and then the finite number to 25 is the rarest. First one I've come across. Again, I picked that up, I think early this year, before everything started really going crazy. Got it from a person out of Japan. Some of the stuff I have no choice but to go through Japan to kind of get some of this stuff, because it just doesn't pop up. And again, even from Japan, this is the first one I've seen. And recent comps on that is 720. Next card is a 2000 Donruss stat line. I'm pretty certain a lot of people have never even seen this card. A ton of shine on it. If I can pick it up there, a hollow foil up there. But these are 2000 Donruss. Ichiro's rookie year was 2001. Donruss ended up making these cards illegally. They didn't have the rights to make these. Jim McKay was one of the managers as far as redemptions and things like that. And he was working with Donruss and playoff there, and found a stack of these. And I think he got with, I don't know if it was one of the general managers. Him and her destroyed all the cards, but kept 7. It's kind of like proof that what Donruss had done illegally. And these were numbered. These are actually out of his personal collection. And this is blue hollow foil, and this is the silver foil. And he wanted to number the cards something that was memorable to him. not have anything to do with Ichiro himself or his career or number. And this is actually his dad's birthday, May 3rd, 1935. So it's cool to have those. Comps on that one. Again, I'll be very conservative on that. 750. None have shown up in years, and when they would show up back in the day, they were going for about 500. So I could, I wouldn't be surprised if that went for more. Next, the 2001 Fleer Legacy Collection, Fleer Showcase Legacy Collection. I'm sorry. I purchased this one earlier this year. Did not have it, knew it existed, needed it. Been trying to pick off these rare parallel Ichiro rookie cards. Not familiar with this VGR company. I know they're out of Japan. It's almost like they're a grading company because it's the center and corner edges surface. But the 51 is just Ichiro's number, so there's nothing on here that reflects a grading number. I'm not sure. Maybe back in the day you would go to their website and you could look it up. But really cool. I actually love the slab. I thought about breaking it out, but it's just, very it's thicker case. It's almost identical to a VGS case, but I don't know if I can pick it up on the back here. But let me see. There a little bit. That's Mount Fuji, kind of right there. That's Mount Fuji, and there's some cherry blossoms down here. They're really cool. I mean, it's a nice hologram on the back. They really went out of their way to make a good product or a good slab. And these are number 250. I don't know why I won't focus on that, but yeah, it's out of 50. And these are really, really rare. I started doing some research on these and didn't really realize how rare they are. Beckett has only graded 9 of these, period, in any condition. And PSA has never graded one of the Legacy. They have graded 2 of Pujols. So I thought that was really interesting. So must be a lot more rare or harder to come by than I realize. Let me see. Next card is a 2001 Fleer EX Gem Mint 10. Cool card. The EX line kind of crosses over to all sports and has been picking up steam in baseball in the last year and a half. As some of those collectors get priced out or want to reach out to other markets, these are starting to become a little more popular, and these are number 21999. There are some that are missing the serial number on the back, so I'm not sure if those were backdoored or held as replacements, but they're out there as well. And then the ones that are numbered hold more value. Recent comps on that is 750. Next cards are a little perplexing a little bit. But they're the 2002 Topps Chrome. These the black refractors. I'm lucky to have 2 of these. The Trophy Cup that has really seen a resurgence in the last year or so, year and a half. People want to pick up the image of the player in their second year that has the Trophy Cup showing. Really cool. Follow through from Ichiro there, not just the batting pose. He's actually swinging through. These are rare cards, hard to come by. They're numbered to 50. And I bought one in 2016, and I knew I didn't have it. I wanted the card, of course, but the buyer was like $69.99. Buy it now, no best offer option. And I thought about it for like a day, and then I just went ahead and bought it. I thought at the time I overpaid for it because I hadn't seen one, couldn't compare it to anything else. And then in 2018, another, I think the one numbered to 5. I think I paid the $69.99, I think. But then a seller popped up with another one buy now of $30. So I was like, yeah, to offset the price I may have paid for the overpaid for the first one, and to have two, I was extremely happy for that. Um, it's hard to price these out. They're very desirable cards. Um, every time I post in the Facebook group, the 1990s to 2004 rare inserts and cards. Anytime somebody does a post on these particular cards, people will always, mention and bring up that they're still looking for a certain card or their player in the set. So, they're extremely hard to come across. But a PSA 9 of this one, the exact same one of the Ichiro, sold for $1,000, and that was like a month ago. So very recent. Um, again, these aren't nines, but they're in great shape. Another reason I need to get into grading more, but or grading period. But I would say around 750 is where these cards are going in raw form. Again, these aren't scratched and clean surface, no edge or corner wear. But would not be surprised if that's where those are going. Um, next card is a 1993 Takara Blue Wave, one of Ichiro's first Japanese rookie cards to make the list here. Graded 10. Smaller card. What's up, Brian? Thanks for jumping in, buddy. Smaller than an average card, rounded corners. So also the easiest one to find in high grade, even though the pop isn't all that high on it, with 79 PSA 10s, and also more on the cheaper side as far as Ichiro rookie cards, especially from Japan. Recent comp $806. Next card is a 2001 Bowman Chrome rookie card. I mean, Topps just did an awesome job with these cards. The refractor shine on them, just beautiful cards. Black borders make them susceptible to chipping and things like that, and of course the glossy surface for scratches. This is the English back, and then the Bowman Chrome rookie card, and this is the Japanese back, both raw. Um, some things I know what I paid for, some things I don't remember. I don't keep track of anything. What I do keep track of is in my head. But I remember when I picked these up years ago, I wanted both. I didn't have either, and I was always hoping that the same seller would list both, where I could work out a deal. And that's exactly what happened with these two. And I bought both of them from the seller for $110. So super excited for those. Recent comps on those. Sorry, recent comps on those. 850 raw. Those cards of climbing. Next card is a 2001 Topps Chrome Traded Retro Fractor with Pujols. Again, big on this card. And any parallel, even the base. And lucky to have two. I had one for years, and recent, or maybe 2 months ago, 2 to 4 months ago, doing my usual search on eBay, and a guy had one listed and did not have it listed correctly. Did not have it as the retrofractor, and I had to buy now 125. I know another guy in the 90s group there, 90 to 2004. He had picked one up, and the guy didn't have his listed correctly, and he got his for 75. So they can be found, but you really gotta kind of be on it. But yeah, got two of those. Extremely lucky to have those. Recent comps on these, $862. Next card is a 2001 Leaf Limited rookie And I got a piece of the base there. Extremely rare card. Like under the radar for a lot of people. These are number 2, just 100. Oh, you can see it. It's not focused. There it goes. And of course, shows the picture of the base it supposedly came from. But a really cool card. It's almost like a must-have for the higher end Ichiro rookie cards. Big card for the registry. Um, the only recent comp I have is a PSA 5 sold. I mean, this is within a month ago, month and a half. Sold for $881 in a PSA 5. So kind of rare for that card to pop up in any fashion. So really cool to have that one. Next is a 2001 Upper Deck Pros and Prospects piece of his jersey, number to 500. Nothing really crazy going on with this card. Again, Pros and Prospects. I don't know if that product, was. I don't think it was necessarily a big hit that year, but graded a 10. Really brings up the value a lot. PSA 10. There's only 10 of them, and then BGS. Only 6 have been graded 9.5 or higher. So it kind of lends to the value there that you might be surprised. Recent comps on this one's 900. Next is a 2001 Donruss rated rookie career stat line. A couple different parallels of his Donruss card. This is beautiful. And of course, black borders on the bottom and the top make it a little harder for as grading goes. Hollow foil surface. All the things you look at that could, prevent a card from reaching high grade. This card has it, but this is a SGC 9, number to 106, like you see on. I like the way they actually add the number in there on the SGC slab. The number to 106. Been looking for one of these for a long time. One popped up as a PSA 9. I was in the bidding war and got overrun, and was obviously way off on the estimation on what the card would go for. This card, the guy listed to buy it now. Shortly after that, I think he was probably holding out, trying to figure out what the actual price would to sell it for would be on his end as well. But recent comp on this is 900. Next card might surprise some people. Topps Project 2020, Ben Baller. And a lot of people give the whole run, the whole Project 2020 a bad name. I like it. I only picked up the Ichiros out of it. I only picked up one of each. It seems like not necessarily people got discouraged or upset with the set because they got burned because they tried to make a bunch of money off of it. I don't know if it's necessarily fair to hate the product because you lost money, because that's a whole different story. But cool. Ichiro was the first card in the product, and glad to have it. Recent comps on this one are 963. Next card, 2001 Topps traded. Again, some of these cards you'll see, several times as different parallels. So this is just the base, graded a 10. Beautiful card. Recent comps on these is, where's my list? Oh, $1,000 around where that's going. And next is a 2001 Topps Chrome Retrofractor. Beautiful shine on these cards. It's gorgeous. I'd love to get this card graded one day. Yeah, I'll never forget. Me and my best friend were getting fitted for our suits for my wedding. We're at the mall, and I was following this on eBay on my phone, and we were walking out of the mall before I we reached the parking lot. We were about to step off the sidewalk. I did the old last minute bid and got this one. If you want to focus, there it goes. And I got this one for $70. I do know that for a fact. And the retrofractor. And those raw, you're looking around $1,000 right now, but I can see that card going up for sure. All right, give me 1 second. I'll be right back with the others. All right. Thank you for the few guys that are in here watching. I appreciate it. I know it's the middle of the afternoon and things like that. So for me, it's kind of the easiest time with the kids not being here and just able to focus on this, making sure I don't mumble jumble everything and have all my information correct. So we're halfway through, and number 24 is a 2000 S3 SP Authentic Dual Chirography autograph of Griffey and Ichiro. Number to 125. That's cool. It says Griffey's on the Reds, but looking at it, it doesn't stand out as being on the Reds. Kind of blends in with the Mariner colors there. So love these two together on a card autographed. On card, of course. Actually, these might be stick. No, I think they're on card. That's one thing that Upper Deck did really well. If they were stickers, they blended in extremely well with the card. They didn't stand out. Recent comp on that one is 1,050. Next card is a 2004 SP Authentic Dual Chirography. Ichiro and Griffey again. Much more rare as far as the print goes, out of 50. A little bigger windows for their autographs there. And of course, being lowest serial number, the value is a little bit more on these. Recent comp is 1,150. Next is a 2001 Topps Chrome Traded with Ichiro and Pujols here in a Gem Mint 10. And PSA, got 158 of these graded to 10. Recent comps, 1,150. Next is a 2019 Topps 5-star dual auto with Griffey and Ichiro. This time both in a Mariners uniform and front and center, no doubt about it there. Number to 5. So really cool. Really cool. Love to have that one. Recent comp on that one is 1,200. Next is a 2001 Fleer Authority Rookie Prominence. This whole set's kind of funky. I think they were, I'm 99% sure, they were all graded by BGS, and they were inserted across several different Fleer products in 2001. It's kind of funky, but that's how they were distributed. I'm not sure if the parallels were. I'm sure they are, though. I haven't done research on that. But these are number 275. That's not what I paid for it, but whoever was selling it was asking that. Number 275 in a 10. PSA has only graded 8 of these, period. So very, very hard card to come by. You don't see these every day. Um, Current value, I would say 1,200. Wouldn't be surprised in auction if it went more for more than that. Next is a 1993, the Tomy ID Blue Wave Ichiro's second rookie card from Japan there, and a 10. And PSA, there's 68 10s, and one sold recently for $1,236. Still think a lot of his Japanese stuff is underrated, undervalued. Next is a 2001 Topps PSA 10, the standard base rookie card, extremely condition sensitive set, and there's dark green borders. Anything left in a set, in a box, in a pack. Try to open those; they're going to be bricked together and probably badly damaged. You'll see some on eBay. As they call it, some sellers have started calling it snow. These little flakes that have, basically the card had stuck to the card in front of it and peeled off the surface. So I have 2 of these in a 10. Like I paid 150 for one and 120 for the other years ago. But recent comps on these are one sold recently for 1,413, and also PSA 10s only 124. So you're not going to see a run up on those for sure. Next is a 2001 Topps. Looks like the base, but this is the employee. If I can get there's an embossed stamping right here. Kind of make it out there. But yeah, basically it says Topps employee. They made 150 sets for 2001 for having a really, really good year, and distributed those 150 sets to employees, I think in the New York office. But again, susceptible, just like the other card, chipping, dark green borders, being a factory set or a set the way they produced these and gave them to the employees. Some, if they remain in factory set form and bricked, and they're probably going to be in extremely poor condition when trying to separate the set. This is a really, really good example of this card. Hard to put a value on this card as well. I know it's a 5.5, a BGS 5.5. It sold for either $900 or $950 in the last couple months. What's up, Kevin? How you doing, buddy? But yeah, so hard to put a value on this card, given the condition. But I'll put conservative. I would say 1,500 in this form. Wouldn't be surprised if it went for more than that. Next is a 2001 Topps Gold and a PSA 9. Another card that was extremely hard to put a value on. Around 850. But PSA 9 hasn't sold in years. With the climate and everything that's going on, put a conservative estimate at 1,900, or I'm sorry, 1,500 for this one. Would not be surprised if it went higher. Thanks, Brian. I appreciate that, man. Just trying to provide information for other people. I know other people have been asking me for Ichiro stuff, and just trying to share my knowledge, like Eric says. I think it's important for everybody to do that. Next, 2001 Bowman's Best. I love the hollow foil on these. Beautiful card. And this is from the same um, or probably photographer that did the 2001 Bowman Chrome. Same people in the background, same dugout image, but just him and a little. I think it just got the little stepping into the pitch a little bit there. So graded to 10, and recent comp on these is 1,500. Next is a 1993 BBM, probably his most well-known. Card drives me crazy. It's crooked in the top in the holder, so it makes it look off center. But anyways, Gem at 10 BBM is very similar to Topps, our version of Topps over in Japan, and it's probably his most recognized rookie card. And in a 10, this is his most valuable Japanese rookie card. Let me see. PSA, there's 123 tens, and recent comps on this one. One sold recently, $1,735. Next up is a 2001 Don Russ. This is a season stat line. I showed the career stat line earlier. This is a little bit higher print run, but again, it's very susceptible to everything you might think of as far as borders and edges, hollow foil. Just like the Griffey 93 SP, all foil front. A lot of things can go wrong. This one's numbered to 153, and this is actually Pop 1 on PSA. Yeah, only 9 have been graded through PSA, and this is the Pop 1. Hard to put a value on this one, but everything given, I put a value of $1,750 on this one. Next is a 2001 Leaf Rookies and Stars, the Longevity. It's one of those cards I knew about it, and finally was able to get it, and it honestly let me down a little bit. I was expecting it to look awesome. It looks cool, but it's just a foil. There's no shine, there's no extra anything to it. It's just one solid foil card, but it's extremely rare. These are numbered to 25. Again, trying to get those rare Ichiro rookie card parallels, and graded at 8.5. The one actually sold recently, PSA 9. I think it's the highest grade this card has ever received. And that sold for $1,846. So it's hard. I know the difference between a 9 and 8.5, but being the rarity of the card, I put this one right in that ballpark as well because they just don't show up. It's a really cool card. As far as international players, I don't know. I guess in terms of international players, Roberto Alomar. There's other players from other countries. I don't know how long they've maybe lived in the U.S., but or started their career in the U.S. or things like that, as far as Major League Baseball. But that's yeah. There's not a lot of them for sure. Next is a 2001 Topps. That's the home team advantage. Another parallel to the base, and graded at 10. These are hard to come by. There's only been 10 tens. So, but you're not going to find these every day. And recent comp on this one is $1,950. Next is a 2001 Topps Chrome Traded in a 10. A little easier to find. At PSA, they've graded 233 tens. And recent comp is $1,970. Next is the Fleer Authority Prominence card I showed earlier, but in a PSA 10. But they made parallels of this card, and this is the hardest one to find, the rarest one, numbered to 25. Old school, graded a long time ago. Got that old slab, old flip there. The numbering grades on the back. Like to get this graded, regraded by PSA, but extremely hard card to find. I've only found one ever, and that was I think I bought this like actually no, maybe 4 or 5 years ago. So hard to put a value on this card, but I think if one came up for sale, it would reach around $2,000. Yeah, Kevin, he'd be the only one for sure from those. Yeah, from those areas. Next is a 2001 Fleer Platinum. Not a big fan of this card because again, it's a dual player card, and another guy's career just didn't pan out. But this is the crown is silver, so this is the platinum parallel, which is a lot more scarce than the base. And these are numbered 21. This is the only one I've ever seen, and graded 9. That's a solid grade for a card. And PSA is only graded. They actually said it's graded. They've graded 16 of these, which is crazy. So again, did someone not get the grade they liked and resubmitted it several times, or what the deal? Don't know, but I do know in 10 years I've only seen one. So where those 16 are, if they, or the other 15 are, if they exist, they're locked away in collections, I guess. But I can see this one coming up for auction would go for around $2,000 as well. All right, this card has made an appearance earlier. It's a 2001 Bowman Chrome, and this is the English back, graded a BGS 9.5. I know some of these cards are making an appearance more than once, but there's a different value as far as raw and graded, so I wanted to include both. And then this is the Japanese back, BGS 9.5. And believe it or not, I bought both of these years ago for $150 a piece. One was from us, and I don't even know who the seller was. Obviously, he wasn't a big seller. And then one of them, the seller's name was something pawn shop, so they didn't realize what they had, and they had to buy it now at $150. So I could not hit buy it now fast enough on those. Recent comp on the BGS 9.5s. I don't hold more value for the Japanese back versus the English back. Some people, I think, will try to do that. They're both printed the same print, or as far as whatever print run, which we don't know what that is, but one isn't more rare than the other. Recent comp is $2,475. Next is a 2001 Topps, and this is the limited edition, kind of like the throwback to the Tiffany sets. There's only 2 10s, and when I first bought this, it was a pop 1, and I bought it for $180. And the other 10 actually sold very recently. Brian knows this. I was following it, and he sent me the link to what it sold for, and that other one sold for $2,716. So pretty cool. Love to have that card. And we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Top 5 now, guys. Next 2001 Bowman Chrome X Fractor, and these just don't pop up. There's some recently that popped up in the last couple months, but I mean, realistically, you might see a few of these, maybe two a year, maybe. Unknown print run, but very scarce. Again, all these the Bowman Chrome rookie cards from Ichiro were all redemptions. So you had to send off a wait to get these. So how many were actually, redeemed? How many, redemptions were pulled out of packs? How many found their way to Tops? I'm sure Tops has that information. That'd be great to know. But I think that lends to the rarity of these and why they just don't pop up. And they're beautiful cards. And this is the English back. And then the 2001 X Fractor, and this is the Japanese back. Both in a 9. Very happy with these. I get to the point with some of these rare ones, you take it just about any grade you can get it, if you can find the card, period. And Japanese on the back. And a recent comp on these is $3,161. Next is a 2001 SPX. This is the Prospect Auto. Thanks, Griffey16. Appreciate that, man. This is the it only has 2 autograph cards, rookie cards. Unlike things that have kind of gone on. Even Pujols has quite a few autograph rookie cards, but each only has 2. And this one has a piece of his jersey up top here. One guy sent me some photos of, I don't know who he got in contact with, a guy from Japan that had these that had like crazy patches, and they're just not authentic. People get taken advantage of every day. But I told him don't buy those because they're not real. And he had one with like a buttonhole. I told him that's not real either. The guys just went in there and messed with the card and tried to increase the value, which the guy I think was only asking like $700. So I told him that should be your first sign that there's something wrong with the card. But cool card, graded to 10. Surprisingly, there's 85 of these graded as 10 through PSA. So not all that scarce, but all not that common as well. But glad to have that one. And recent comp on this one is $4,600. All right, top 2 now. Next is a 2001, the SP Authentic in a 10. Numbered to 1250. So the high numbering is kind of weird. I think kind of throws people for a loop. But these Future Watch rookie cards have really taken off. Like Tom Brady, Drew Brees, other sports of pulling others along. And this one in the Pujols have seen a lot of traction. And there's surprisingly 185 PSA 10s. And a recent comp on this one is $4,871. And then number 1 is the 2001 Ultimate Collection. On card auto, number 250. I don't know if you see that. Yeah, he signed through it. But he only has 1 on card autograph, and especially one is serial numbered, and this is it. It's the only one he has. So really cool to have it. I mean, it's like the Mount Rushmore as far as Ichiro rookie cards to have. I've been collecting for so long, and made friends with other Ichiro collectors and things like that. And I've seen over the years, they were looking for some, and some had picked them up, and some, were still looking for them. So when I got this, I shared it with some of them. They're like, super excited that, I finally got one. So I couldn't be more excited myself. Very condition sensitive cards. I mean, gold, you know, the stamping across the side over here, black borders, black and purple. I mean, all dark borders. It's got little corner wear right there, which really brought it down to an 8. But one thing I know, this isn't a trim card. Otherwise, that would not be there, which attracted me because if a trimmer got a hold of that, they would definitely take care of that problem right there. So, gave me peace of mind when I bought the card. And the autographs, the strong 9. The autographs on these cards can be very streaky, faded, but this one's a very, very solid autograph. Nice, big, flowing autograph. His old school autograph when he first started signing. Love, 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 love this card. Um, Very hard to put a, a value on this card. There's some guys that they have them listed on eBay, but they're not planning on really selling them. They got them listed really high, I think, to hopefully get a high price because I think this card can only go up. PSA is only graded 18 of these cards, period. Like I would love to get this in my registry, but I know PSA is going to slam me for that corner right there. I mean, BGS did. PSA is really going to do it. There's another guy that's in the registry on PSA, and he had an 8.5 that he sent in to resub through PSA, and they graded a 7. He didn't do a minimum grade, so that was pretty bad. So I can't do the same. I'll have to put a minimum grade and see what they can do eventually, maybe. But current comp on this one, an 8.5 sold for 6,200. I don't know, maybe 6,000. Yeah, it's just not enough to take off for that 0.5 for me, given how rare these pop up for sale. But I can see this card in the next 2 years being a $10,000 card. This card only has one way to go. So that's it, guys. That's the top 50. That's top 50 based on value, recent comps, and things like that. I want to do a top 50 based on just some of my favorite cards because I don't just because it's worth a certain amount doesn't make it my favorite card because I like all of my cards really. So I really like the big chunky patches Upper Deck used to do. Those are some of my favorite cards. Refractors, red refractor, Bowman Chrome red refractors, tops chrome red refractors. I love those. The rarity of those, especially some of the older ones, they just don't show up at all. Um, and then I pulled out some of my Funkos here. I don't have any Funkos besides these 3, and these are the ones they did for Ichiro at the field, T-Mobile Park, and this is the base. They made 10,000 of those, and they did a blue jersey. They did 1,000 of them, and then they did the silver, which they did 51 of those for his number. So those are cool. I like those. I need to find a proper way to display them, but I figured I'd pull them out for the video, kind of let you guys see them. So what were your guys' favorite cards? If you guys want to chat, I'm more than happy to chat with you guys and chill out for a little bit. The top's gold, Brian. Yeah, that limited was really cool. For years or for a while, I've always wanted to get 10 of or PSA 10s of all the parallels, but the gold is who knows what the gold in a 10 would go for nowadays. And also the retrofractor. Yeah, that's one of the I guess the benefits of collecting a player for so long and just happen to work out with their career. And but yeah, $70. I wish I would have gotten another one throughout the time, but I just never did. I was just once I got that one, man, I was extremely happy. Just kind of like just love that card. Topps did an awesome job with those. One thing when I yeah, the pawn shop little find there. But yeah, I mean, I think even then those were going for like 350 or something like that. So I always wanted to get one in a BGS 9.5, but I didn't know when or if I was going to do it. And then, obviously, if a deal comes across that's that good, you just can't pass it up. That's like that Stadium Club Superfractor you sent me the link to. I'd really thought I saw that card sell, but for the life of me, I couldn't find the listing. But I think the guy was fairly new, only had like a few feedbacks, so I didn't know what was going on. I didn't know if I was going to get the card or what the deal was. Oh yeah, I imagine. Especially you're out hustling and doing the grind, man, paying the bills, through cards. Sure, you run into all kinds of cool people and different collections all the time. All right, guys. Well, I'm gonna call it a wrap for now. I really appreciate everybody for jumping in, watching. Um, I've never done anything like that before. One of my favorite things, I think I mentioned it earlier, was the end of the year when people start posting their top pickups for the year, their top, whatever 20, top 50, 100, whatever it may be, that they've, what their collection is, what it looks like at the end of the year. It's a great way to wrap up the year. I've never done it. Always kind of wanted to, and just one of my favorite things, honestly, to do. I love to binge watch because sometimes I'll make it a point to not watch YouTube for a week or two just so I can sit here and, like on a Friday night or Saturday night if nothing's going on. Obviously COVID kind of stuck in the house for the most part, and I got two little kids, so we just kind of hang out, get them to bed, and then my wife is usually watching some show that she follows, and we have a couple we watch together, and then if I'm not into something she's watching, I just get on YouTube and just really enjoy. I mean, I watch 3, 4, 5 hours, depending on what's going on, and just love watching videos like that. Yeah, thanks, Griffey. I was kind of on the fence. Grading was a thing, and some people were really into it. Some people were not into it. Some people, they wanted BGS. Some people it had to be PSA. So I kind of, in a point, started off where I wanted raw cards, and then some of them have graded from BGS and PSA if I could afford it or swing it. But back then when I first started doing it, I mean, they weren't all that expensive. I mean, given that the time they were selling, obviously that was market price, but given today's climate. But I am glad I picked those cards up when I did. But I mean, I remember even the Topps base, given the condition of that card, and people, I mean, years ago have been pulling those cards out and having problems with them sticking together. So I kind of made a conscious effort to kind of go after the parallels of that 2001 Topps. Any idea when you're going to get those back, Brian? Yeah, that's it's funny. I keep putting off grading. I've never graded anything myself. Anything I have that I own is graded. I already bought it graded. So I wish I would like to get back in, or I'd like to get into it, because I have cards that there's some cards you really just can't put a value on until it has a grade on it. It's kind of one of those things too that my opinion of a raw card that might grade a 9 might be different than someone else's. So if it's already graded and has a number on it, then you can put a value on it instantly, for the most part, unless it's something super rare, which that's another good thing about grading. So, but I mean, with everything going on now, I mean, I couldn't imagine if I had submitted cards and just have them sitting somewhere in a warehouse or in boxes somewhere, and it would drive me crazy. The one 2001 Bowman Chrome X-Fractor, the PSA 9, the English back. I did a trade for that card. I've never sold anything. I've never traded anything. But this guy, I bought the other one in March, the Japanese back, and through Twitter, I think I posted a picture of the card on Twitter, and a guy, like, I think he private messaged me that he had the English back in a 9, and I think it was raw. Yeah, it was raw. And I tried to work out a deal with him, and it's kind of one of those things. He said he was just going to hold on to it until he gets in the Hall of Fame, which I knew if that was the case, and that there's no way I would be able to afford the card. And then he said changed his mind. He was going to send it to PSA. Thanks, Griffey, man. I appreciate you watching, man. And he, I guess I didn't hear anything back from him, but just from the pictures, I told him the card wouldn't grade higher than a 9 for sure, because the centering was off just a little bit, and he was kind of, well, you never know, and I understand that. But he ended up finally getting the card back and showed, sent me a picture. It got a 9, which I told him that was cool. But then he wanted like a pretty high price for it, and we just couldn't reach an agreement. But I told him I would pay what I paid for the last X-Fractor, and he told me he would consider it. And almost a year went by, and now we're in these crazy times, but one hasn't sold since what I paid for mine back in March. And But I ended up trading a pretty big trout for it. Probably my best trout I had. But at the end of the day, I'm an Ichiro collector, and it's one of those must have for me on my list. Especially being a rookie card and stuff like that. So and that was nerve wracking. I don't know if I'd do another trade, but I guess in the future if I do it, I need to. My thoughts were he was going to send it priority mail, and because that was what I was going to do, and he said that he was going to send it out by a certain time on that day, and based on what he said, I made sure I got mine in the mail by that time, priority mail. And it was like later that night, he sent me a message, said he got busy at work and didn't get a chance to even go to the post office. In the meantime, I got this trout already on its way to him, and I already sent him, tracking and everything. So right away, I was like, I don't know this guy from anybody. I didn't get, any anybody to vouch for him or anything. So I was just like, all of a sudden get this feeling in my stomach, like, what have I done? So then it was like the next day he said, hey, I sent it, but it was like that was a Saturday. That was another thing. I made sure it got in the mail by Friday. He sent his Saturday, but he didn't. He said, I'll be at the post office by, because post office closes at 12. So then he sends me a message, oh, I didn't make it to the post office on time. They closed. So I was like, well, here's another day. Now we're going to go to Sunday. And my whole thing is like, is he slow playing this so he can see this trout in person, or before he sends the card off? I didn't know what was going on. So then he ended up going to the UPS store and sent the card. And I guess UPS doesn't upload tracking until like the next work or the next like Monday or something like that, not over the weekend. So I didn't know that. So he sent me a picture of his receipt, and it's not showing anything. I'm looking for tracking info. I'm kind of starting to freak out this time. And you hear these horror stories that sometimes they'll ask what you're shipping. And I asked him, like, did they ask you what you were shipping, what you were mailing off? He said, yeah, I said a baseball card. So then the feeling in my stomach gets worse. So my wife starts going on and looking at the feedback for the UPS store, and they're horrible, horrible, horrible feedback for the store. Things missing, things get lost. And I'm just like, at this point, I'm like, I'll probably never see that card. And but again, now we're in the time where things are starting to back up for mailing. Packages are getting slowed down with the holidays. COVID's hitting, everything. And but I finally got the card. So it was crazy. And it's funny, I ended up getting his card before he got mine because priority mail took a week to get there. And the UPS actually got here like the day before he got the trout. So, then it was the point where I got it. I was happy. I didn't hear anything from him, and you don't know if the person you're going to do the trade with, are they happy on their end? If they're not happy, then how does that work out? What do you do then? So he finally sent me a message, got it, extremely happy, because one of the corners, um, it was a cognac, a trout cognac, 2011 update, and the corner part of the flake from the cognac was right in the corner. But when you take a picture, it made the corner look funny. I told him you'd have to see it in person to understand what I was saying. So once he got it in person, he said he knew exactly what he was saying after looking at it. So it ended up working out with both of us, but I don't know if I would do a trade for that high value of a card in person, no problem. But through the mail like that with somebody you absolutely know nothing about, it was nerve wracking. I was pacing the floor like every day. Like I was talking to my wife about it. I think she was getting kind of upset. And at the end, she's like, you should have just not done a trade. And I'm like, yeah, I guess not. Because I just can't handle it. People always reach out to me about, selling things or trading. And, I've never done it. And that's my first experience. And it worked out. But the whole process was stress. a ton of stress. Yeah, Jimmy, I hear you, man. I'd love to get stuff graded, but to this point, until that new group that came in there that bought PSA start getting everything figured out, which who knows how long that might take. I think they've got a very promising outlook for the future for PSA. Yeah, thanks, Brian. It worked out great, but the whole process was nerve wracking. One thing like with PSA that I'm not a big fan of is they had these long waits even before all of this. They were backed up, and you send a card in, and the player's card value can fluctuate like crazy, especially with COVID and everybody stuck at home. I mean, you saw card prices. It was like a stock market. I mean, a card would be up, one day, it'd be down the next day. I mean, it was crazy. But I mean, you send a card in, let's say, under that $99 threshold, and all of a sudden the guy has a good, you know, you know, solid month or two, nothing crazy, and that card increases in value. Now they're going to charge you an increase because the card's value has gone up. I don't think they should do that. I mean, I think it should be once it leaves your hand, it is what it is. I mean, nobody can predict the future. I mean, I guarantee you, if you have a card that's worth a ton of money when you send it off, and that guy gets injured and it goes tanks in value, they're not going to give you money back. Hey, Nate. Yep, I started actually just finished up, just kind of wrapping up and just talking with folks. How you doing, Nate? Cool, man. Yeah, I appreciate you jumping in. It was tough. I tried to do this yesterday, and I thought I was actually recording everything, and I went a little over an hour, and at the end of it, realized I didn't. So I tried to do it earlier this afternoon when the kids aren't home. Easier for me to concentrate and kind of be more thorough on everything. Are you working, Nate? All right, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and end the video. Again, I really appreciate everybody that jumped in and was able to watch and participate. Appreciate you guys taking the time out of your day to do that, and hope everyone has a good rest of the day and good rest of your week. Take care, everybody.